up, you guys? It's Emily. Welcome back to another Coffee Talk Friday. Like always, before we begin, don't forget to comment a topic, anything you want me to answer in next week's video. I'm really open to whatever you guys want to ask me. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe because that helps me out a lot. And if you guys noticed, I'm on a new camera. I'm so excited. I can't wait to give you guys good quality now. I just filmed this whole video and it was out of focus, so it's gonna take me a while to get the hang of this, but I'm super excited for it. And let's get on into the questions. Okay, so the first question comes from Callie Elizabeth. Hey girl. And she said, I have a question for next week. How do you schedule filming a video if you're busy with school? When is the best time for you to sit down and film when you're super busy? So I go to college and I have a part-time job. I work both of those throughout the week, and then I work my part-time job on the weekend. However, I always have Fridays and Mondays off. So I'll film on Thursday night after class, and I'll film on Sunday, and then that way I have time to edit and I'll be sure to have it up for you guys. However, I know some people don't have total days off that are like guaranteed total days off. So what I would recommend is, do it at night. Don't try to rush your videos. You want to make them look good. You don't want to make them look rushed. So I would do them at nighttime when you're done with everything. I know that's really hard to do though, because I know how busy life gets, especially when you have work or school or both. And if it comes to it, don't feel like you have to film if it is too much for you. Your viewers will understand. If I'm your viewer, I actually already subscribed to you, and I would totally understand if you came on and said, sorry, I couldn't film last week. I was really busy. I understand. And any good, loyal subscriber would understand why you couldn't film. So don't feel like you gotta rush it. But if you kind of want to film, I would film at nighttime. Okay, so the next question comes from Alyssa Michelle. Hey. And she said, you kind of mentioned your parents knowing you make YouTube videos. So my question for next week is, how did you tell them, or did it just slip up somehow? My sister knows I do YouTube, but I don't know how my parents are going to feel and if they're going to be like, what, that's stupid or something. Okay, so I had a YouTube channel in 2013, so that was 4 years ago. And I did a beauty, I did a beauty video on my Mac laptop, and I filmed it on iMovie, uploaded it, whatever. I have this relationship with my mom where if I do something that's a big thing for me, if I don't tell her, I feel guilty. So I told her, I was like, hey, you might think this is weird, but I uploaded a video on the internet. And she was supportive, and she would ask me like, oh, did you get any views yet? I never got any views, but she was still really supportive. But yeah, I abandoned that channel. If you guys could find the video, God bless. But yeah, so my dad never knew. To my knowledge, he didn't know. My mom might have told him. Fast forward to now, I made YouTube, kept it a secret for about a month, told my best friends, no one else. And then I told my parents when I told my best friends. My mom kind of already knew I had a passion for this, because when I was younger, I used to film my webcams and I would make them like line up and do skits. If I still had those videos, I would laugh so hard. Like, I would do a reaction video for you guys, but it's what I love doing. It's what I was passionate about. And so yeah, I've had a camera in my hand since I was a little girl. So my mom was easy to tell. My dad, we were eating dinner, and my mom wasn't home yet from work, and I told him, and I was kind of nervous what he was gonna say, but he was totally supportive about it because his work is on the radio. He does commercials for a living, so he kind of got it. It's kind of like commercials, but with an image. And he always joked and said, well, I only have I only have the face for radio. So he was supportive about it. My parents were supportive. However, I don't know your parents like that. You know your parents more than I do. I would take it slow. I would, talk to your sister. Like, what does your sister think about telling your parents? I mean, I don't feel like it's a big secret to hide from them. I know it's kind of like, I don't know, like it kind of weighs on you a little bit, so maybe you would want to tell your parents. But I mean, at the end of the day, they are your mom and your dad, and they're gonna support you eventually. I mean, I don't even know, my parents might think this is weird that I sit in here, but my dad just helped me set up this camera, so he's pretty supportive. But yeah, do what you think's best, because I don't know how your parents would react to something like this. I think you would have a better knowledge than I would, but I would say if you feel like this is something you're passionate about and this could be a big part of your life, then totally tell them, and I'm sure at the end of the day they'll end up supporting you. Okay, so the next question comes from Emily Caitlin, and hey, she said, question for the next week or in the future. What movie has influenced your life the most? Okay, so I feel like none of you guys have probably seen this, but then again, I said that with my Spirited Away when I mentioned it in a video, and a lot of you guys commented that you had seen it. So I'll tell you guys about this one. It's called You Got Mail. It has Meg Ryan. It's just like a rom-com, you know. I don't want to give away any major details if you guys want to watch it, but she kind of ends up falling in love with her business competitor. And you know, I think it's just a really good life lesson on looking on the inside of people instead of the outside, and just, you know, you really don't know somebody until you get to know them, if that makes sense. You can't judge a book. So I think that's a really good life lesson. It's something that I've really carried with me. And yeah, it's a really good movie. I think you guys should watch it. Okay, so the next question comes from Garrissy H. And she said, a question I have is, how do you control your anger? I'm making a new series and I'd love your insight. Okay, so I used to have, I wouldn't say I had bad anger issues. I really don't think I did, but I would talk without thinking about what I was saying out of anger. And that's just something, that was high school Emily, like teenage angst Emily. But as I grew up, you know, I realized that's not the way you handle things. You need to think about what you say before you say it. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Be the bigger person. And yeah, I still struggle with it a little bit. But you know, for the most part, I really learned to sleep on it and think about what I want to do before I say anything rash, because there's been plenty of times where I said something and I wish I could take it back. And so yeah. Okay, so the next question comes from Big Mac. Hey. And she said, love your coffee talks. I love you, thank you. Couple questions for you. First, what kind of camera did you buy? I'll answer this question first. I didn't buy a camera. I actually was given a camera. I'm so blessed to have this, and I'm more than thankful. My dad's friend is a photographer, and he gave me this super nice camera because he was updating his equipment, and he told me it was just gonna sit in the closet and he wanted somebody to get use out of it. So I am so thankful, because in a lot of my videos I opened up to you guys and said I was having a really hard time saving up for a camera with everything going on. It just felt like it was Christmas, and then I had Washington, and then it was just like one thing after another. I couldn't get ahead, and when he gave me this camera, honestly, I like cried. I was so happy. I was so thankful, because I wouldn't have had this amazing opportunity any other way. I wasn't even sure when I could get a camera. But to answer your question, it is a Canon Mark III, and I'm obsessed with it. And yeah, it's what I'm filming on right now. I hope you guys noticed I have like different quality to my camera, hopefully, from the iPhone, a little step up. And then question 2 is, are you a salty or sweet person? Salty. I don't like sweets. I don't know why. Please don't judge me. I don't like cake. I don't like cookies. I don't like ice cream. I like cake if it doesn't have icing on it, which I feel like just makes it worse. Am I right? But yeah. Okay, so the next question comes from Chelsea Andrews, and she said, question for next time, do you have any tattoos? Do you want any? I do not have any tattoos. However, I've been wanting to get 2 for over a year now, and a lot of times I say, you know, I have to want this for a while because this is going to be on my body forever. So I want to make sure it was 2 things I was really passionate about, and I'm still passionate about them, so I'll probably get them. Probably not at the same time, but within the next couple years. And I want to get the chemical compound of serotonin on one of my shoulder blades, just like kind of small. And I guess I could go into detail about why I do want to get that tattoo. It's kind of personal, and I wanted to make a separate video on this when I get a little larger of an audience so I can reach more people. But that's going to have a really important meaning to me. And then I want to get I love you in my parents' handwriting alternating. So like I'll have I and you in like either my mom or my dad's handwriting, and then the love in either whichever one isn't doing the other two. But yeah, those are two tattoos that I really am interested in getting. Okay, so the next question comes from Molly Rachel. Hey, and she said, hey girl, hey again. My question is, how do you edit your videos? I love your intro, sound effects, etc. Although I'm having trouble learning how. Well, thanks. That's like honestly a really big compliment because I struggled with this too. Okay, let's go into detail because I get questions about this all the time and I want to help as many people out as I can. Okay, so how I do my intro, I've gotten multiple DMs and comments on how I do it, and I want to help you guys out. So what I did is I went on YouTube and I looked up overlays. That's what you see when you see the clouds. That is just an overlay. I looked them up on YouTube. You can then go and download them. Usually they'll have a link and you could click on the link and you can download them, and then you can export it to your iMovie. If you have Final Cut Pro, I'm sorry, I don't know how that works on that because I don't have it. But so yeah, and then how I put the Emily and how it's like pulsing or like flashing, I went on Keynote, which is a Mac app, I guess. Is that like an app? I guess. But so I went on Keynote and I did the little box, and then I put Emily Price in the white print, and I chose the animation to be like a pulsing effect. And then this is really important, I put green as the background, and I'll tell you why in a second. So then you QuickTime export or something like that. You should totally look up a video on how to export from Keynote to iMovie if you're interested. I'm not that tech savvy. I don't really know. I just kind of do it. Or I did it like 2 months ago. But so I exported it and then I put it in iMovie, and then so now I have my clouds and my flashing thing in iMovie on my reel. So then what I do is I drag the clouds down. That's like the main video. And then I drag the Emily Price down, and that goes on top. And then I click on the Emily Price, and then up on the left hand corner there's like, it should say like picture in picture, picture side by side, or green screen and blue screen. You want to click on that, and then it should just make it so that your text is right over your overlay. This is getting into such a long detailed thing. I'm sorry, I hope I didn't lose anybody. But yeah, and then that's how I did it. And as for sound effects, if also you have a Mac and you have iMovie, I kind of have an outdated iMovie because I've had this laptop for like 4 years, literally. So on the left hand side, there's a thing that says text, transition, titles, and then it should be sound effects. I click on that, and then you could just click whatever you want. iMovie has a really good selection, so I'd recommend checking those out. And then yeah, what I would just like a little advice, you didn't really ask for it, but of course I'm gonna give it to you anyways. Just really look up YouTube tutorials, because I came into this knowing nothing. I didn't know how to work iMovie. If you asked me how to do sound effects, I'd be like, what? Like sound effects? I don't know. And so really what helped me is just hours and hours of watching iMovie tutorials, because when I came in here I didn't know how to do anything. Okay, so the next question comes from Mackenzie Ray. Hey Mackenzie. And she said, now that you're not afraid of flying, do you plan on going any trips abroad with your college? Do you ever want to live in another country? So I'm going to kind of tackle the last question first because I feel like it's easier to answer. Would I ever want to live in another country? Probably not. I like the US. It's okay. Like I wouldn't move. I don't have any reason to, but if I did, I would want to move to Montreal or Toronto, because I think those two places are gorgeous. And now that you're not afraid of flying, do you plan on going any trips abroad with your college? I actually got offered to study abroad, and I was really sad because I'm broke and I couldn't do it. but they offered me to go to either China or South Africa because I am in that Golden Key honor society, so you get first pick if you want to study abroad or not. And yeah, I couldn't go, but that's okay. I still have my whole life to travel. Okay, so the next question comes from Love Live Life. Hey, and she said, question for next week, what is your go-to homemade meal? Okay, this is gonna be the most American answer I could give you, but I like meatloaf, and that sounds so stupid. Somebody's looking at the other side like meatloaf out of all the home-cooked meals. You like meatloaf? But meatloaf is good. Like meatloaf with fresh green beans, not the type that you get from a can, the type you get from a farmer's market with some mashed potatoes because mama loves some carbs. Okay, so the next question comes from Danielle Neven. Hey Danielle. And she said, it's how you do your how do you style your hair on the regular? Do you wear it natural? Do you like to curl it, straighten it, etc.? So I usually wear it natural just because my hair is super damaged. When I'm filming, sometimes I'll straighten it. That's the only time I will though, really, unless I have a big event to go to. I usually don't. I never really curl it. Rare, very rare that I curl it. So yeah, mostly natural just so I could give my hair a break. Not saying that I always do it, but most of the time. Okay, so the next question comes from Your Valentine 89 MUA. That's a super cute name. And she said, how did you get through all that pointless and dumb sub for sub shit and build a strong, supportive, and active community? Okay, so sub for sub, most of them go in spam. Her comment actually went in the spam bucket because it thought that she was telling me sub for sub. But yeah, I mean, I really, a lot of the times will just go in my trash, or not my trash bin, but my spam bin, and I don't really look at them if I'm being honest. But if it makes it through the sub for sub and it comes up on a comment, I honestly will check their channel out, because I know it's not the best way to go about it, but some people are just trying to build their community. I'm doing the same thing. I mean, I'm not doing sub for sub, but I am networking myself. So I understand where their hustle's coming from. I know it's not the right way to go about it, but yeah, I'll look at their channel. I'll give it a shot, even if I do see that it says sub for sub. But if it ends up in the spam bin, I won't even probably look at it. And then how did I build a strong, supportive, and active community? Really, I like to comment on other people's videos as well. You've probably seen me in your comments, because I like watching your guys' videos, and I'm not just saying that. I think that small YouTubers work their asses off because they have to build up their community. When you have larger YouTubers, they kind of slack off a little because they already have 1 million subs or 500,000 subs, and they can get away with it. But with like small YouTubers, you have to grind your butt off, and I really respect the hustle. So I'll watch all of your guys' videos, I'll leave you guys thumbs up, I'll comment sometimes. And also, I've built friendships outside of YouTube. I have people who will DM me, I have people who will Snapchat me, and I love that. Like, I love building friendships, and then they just come back and they comment on my videos and they, you know, stuff like that. But I do the same thing for them, especially for the people who reach out to me outside of YouTube. I love building friendships, really, I do. I will, if you want to DM me, I will DM you back. No joke, I will not DM you. If you want to add me on Snapchat, I'll add you back, I'll snap you back. Yeah, just things like that. Also, I feel like when I answer people's comments, they feel like I actually value their comment, because a lot of times I see people who don't comment back, and that's fine. If those are your videos, you do you. Like, that's how you want to conduct your channel, and there's no right or wrong way. But I just feel like when you comment back, you can kind of make a connection. It's not like you feel that your comment went unnoticed, if that makes sense. I look at all of your comments, and you guys make me smile so much, and the least I could do is comment back to you guys. So yeah. Okay, so for the last 3 questions, I actually had 3 that I accidentally skipped over in last week's, and like I said, nobody gets left behind, so I will go ahead and answer them right now. So the first question comes from Raina Paz. Hey Raina. And she said, questions for next time. If you were stranded on an island and you could only have 5 things, what would they be? People or things? So I'd have my parents, so that's 2. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so my mom and my dad. I would want a lot of water. I would want food, and I would want some kind of, you know, those like radio things, because I don't want a cell phone because I'm no dummy. I know I'm not gonna get reception out there. So I want one of those radio things that you could phone in to, like, you guys know what I'm talking about. I don't know how to explain it, but I'd want one of those. Okay, so the next question comes from Nicole Fisher. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. I love you, I'm sorry. And she said, can you tell us 5 things on your bucket list? I sure can. I had to think about this one for a while, but my first 3 things are traveling. I want to go to Ireland, I want to go to Italy, and I want to go to Bora Bora. Then I want to swim with the manatees because I love them so much. You guys don't know how much I love manatees. My friend sent me an article that said that they're not an endangered species anymore, and I'm so happy, like, and yeah, so, and then my last thing would be, I would like to live in Pittsburgh for at least 5 to 10 years. I need to call Pittsburgh my home, even if it's just for a short amount of time. You guys, I don't know if you guys have been watching my videos for a long time or if you're new subscribers, but I always say how much I'm begging my friends to go to Pitt with me and how I force them there on a monthly basis. So totally have to live in Pitt at some point. Okay, so the next question comes from Eleanor Neal. Hey, and she said, P.S. my question for the next video is, what are your goals for YouTube and outside of YouTube that you want to achieve by 2018? So that gives me about like what, 8 months now. 8 months left until 2018. I would love to hit 10,000 subscribers, although I'm telling myself that's a little unrealistic. So if it comes to 2018 and you see I don't have 10,000, don't feel sorry for me, because I kind of figured. But yeah, I would love to have 10,000 of you guys in my family. And outside of YouTube, I will be graduated with my bachelor's degree in social work, and then I will be starting my master's, not this upcoming fall, but the fall after. I'm gonna get that done in a year. So yeah, done with bachelor's, starting master's by 2018. So that's gonna do it for this Coffee Talk Friday. Thank you guys so much for all your amazing questions. You guys blow me away every week. And don't forget to comment some more so I can answer them, because I love talking to you guys. And even if you don't want to ask me a question, talk to me in the comments, because once again, I love talking to you guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe, because it helps me out a lot. And I can't wait till I see you on Monday's video. Bye guys, love you.